And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? It's July 8th, the July 8th edition of the Pipebomb Program. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to talk about in this program. But before we go on, I want to get some stuff off my chest. There's a lot going on the social media network right now. And I just want to say, before you post anything, before you even go about arguing with people, do some research, educate yourself. And that's all I got to say. Just look it up, do your own research. And the truth is out there. Sometimes a bigger picture is not what it seems. But I'm going to send it over to your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, the host of the show, Chris Conant.
And thank you, Just. And I'm glad you elaborated on that from the gate, from the beginning. And thinking of somebody himself, thinking of somebody who thought outside of the box, thinking of some person that thought different people in the wrestling business today. And that person is Diamond Dallas Page. DDPyoga.com/wrestling Inc. Yugi is views of the likes of John Cena, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and one of the guys that we are talking about tonight, Joey Morte. And more importantly, DDPyoga.com/wrestling Inc. You can get 3 months free subscription of the Max Pack. Guys, if you don't know what the Max Pack is, it's 3 DVDs combined into one. It is free. Download the app. Mysterious G has the shirt on. It works. It saved the life of Scott Hall. It saved the life of Jake the Snake Roberts. Catch Jake the Snake Roberts and the resurrection of Jake the Snake. You catch it on Vudu, Amazon, Google+. Once again, DDPyoga.com/wrestling Inc. Guys, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. It's a guy who made it up the ranks by catching fire. It's a guy who made up the ranks by being a great worker. Thinking of being a great worker, you have to know how to sell. And what I mean by sell, I'm not talking about at a corner store selling a bag of chips. I'm talking about in the ring, making it look real. If you can make it look real, that is selling the job that you're trying to get over. You are an independent contractor as a professional worker. You have to sell yourself. So selling, important part of the show. This is a Pipe Bomb Midnight Madness edition of the show. Tonight, we're going to get into a bracket. We're going to find out who goes on to the next round with the guys we got tonight. Plus, we want to find out who was your worst seller, who's my worst seller that I was ever in the ring with. Tonight's Pipe Bomb is selling. Sick Mexican. Get away from here. Let the people know who's in the brackets tonight. Let the people know who may advance to the next round, and let them know who your guy is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my guy tonight is a guy we had on the show as a guest, a guy we always talk about, and a guy who's been very underused in his company. My guy for tonight is a heart and soul. And again, I'm going to back it up, because this guy really is a heart and soul. Chris Conant could back me up on this. Half the XBW locker room could back me up with this. He is a heart and soul of CWF, and that man is Joe Cool. And Chris,
Joe Cool, he's going against a heart and soul of the XBW 09 season. And what I mean by heart and soul of the 09 season, it's a guy that was irrelevant. It was a guy I heard when I was in UCW. It was a guy who made me mark out, who did something special during the 2009 season that all the way to 2016 today is still talked about, and that guy is Joey Morte. Joey Morte is a special character. Reason being is Joey Morte can talk on the mic. Joey Morte is good with his mouth. I don't have to see a Joey Morte match. I don't have to see it. Enzo can come out and say, "My name is Enzo Amore." And that's all I got to hear from Enzo Amore. And he can go on for 20 minutes, and he can wrestle in the ring for 10 minutes. And I won't care, because that got over already. So when Joey Morte gets on the mic, Joey Morte's over. And that's a guy that Chris Conant would love to utilize. And thank you, Joey Morte, for being a part of our next season. Joey Morte, Joe Cool tonight. And we have a special edition of Pipe Bomb tonight. Not only is it selling, but we're going to cut down tonight. We have the greatness, Vaulted Evil, Mr. Money in the Bank himself, who's going to be a unique and big time character coming in the next VW season. I gotta represent my brother member in the Legion and Chris Sniper. Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing everything tonight. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth, and we have special spoilers. Stay tuned in for the show. Special spoilers on the coming XPW season. We're getting this on the ball. We're going to be rocking and rolling soon, and I'm going to let everybody know what's going down. Why don't you take it away?
So the pipe bomb you asked me. So this is one of the first pipe bombs you asked me. Who was the worst seller that I ever worked with? And two people come to my mind, and a lot, you know what I mean? A lot's going to be said, and this is a pipe bomb show. So the first one I'm going to go with is Crazy Drew. I mean, the match wasn't bad, but there were some times where I hit Crazy Drew with, I murdered him with the light shoes, and he was just getting up. And that match was really hard for me because I had a really high fever. I almost didn't do the match, but the bitches were all there, so I said, you know what, I got to go out there and give it 110%. And Chris, you know how that adrenaline you get when you know what I mean, you go out there and the fans are cheering for you. You know they want to see a sick Vex match, and you know you got to give him 110%. So I had to go out and do my best. And then overall, I don't think it was a bad match, but it did really piss me off sometimes. The kid wasn't selling.
Here's what I can say. Crazy Drew, right? The thing about Crazy Drew is he drew heat inside, outside of the ring. The guy was a face. Vantage point, he was a face. And the things he did was kind of heelish. He never cut a promo. He wasn't a talker. He just went out and was like kind of like this kid from just like Northeast that just wanted to like fight and do whatever. This guy wasn't a trained professional. But this guy, what he did was just not sell. And not being a seller makes your opponent look, would hit him with a crazy move, he would get right up. I mean, Crazy Drew, his name actually still rings bells. People remember him, but people don't remember him for him being a great worker, him being hardcore, and that's what he utilized his career off of. But people remember him off being one of the worst sellers ever in the wrestling business. He was your worst worker you ever worked with. In XPW, all the years, besides the guys like Crazy Drew, Chris Carnage, Jason Cage, XPW's heart and soul, who was the worst seller, in your opinion, ever in XPW?
Ever. That's a hard one. I'm going to get heat for this one, but I'm going to say from what I can remember, Bob was pretty bad when I wrestled him. And from early on, he was just bad. Remember, someone hit him in the head with I think it was a chair or something, and he just, they had to hit him for real because he wasn't selling. You remember that incident?
It brings you to my pipe bomb. Bobby Banks was a great character. Spinny Vinny was a horrible seller. I worked a match with Spinny Vinny. I want everybody to go back. It's on YouTube. Watch the tag match when Spinny Vinny and Sky won the tag team titles. The worst seller I've ever worked with was Spinny Vinny. One was because he was scared to take my moves. I was beating him down, pounding. I had to literally pull him back, slap him across the chest with real chops at this point, real stiff punches. Can sell. And he wouldn't sell. And he would just try to tag Sky in. And Sky would look like, fuck, you really tagged me in? I'm right there. And me and Sky got to go at it now. The time I was in the ring, didn't want to be in the ring with me. Spinny Vinny was the worst seller. Now, that being said, he learned how to sell. Spinny Vinny, Bobby Banks will be a huge part, a huge character in the next coming XPW season. But selling, the art of selling, makes the person look better. The Rock, a great seller. Took an ass whooping through the whole match, made his comeback at the end. Hell of a seller. Batista, great seller. Took an ass whooping through the whole match. People say Batista can work, he stinks, he's horrible. Batista, he was a great seller. Daniel Bryan, great seller. These are guys who are great athletes, guys who got over in the business. In order to get over in the business, you have to be a great seller. And that's what I got to say. But thinking of things we got to say tonight, let's get in our bracketology tonight. In the bracketology has Joey Morte taking on Joe Cool. Was Joe Cool or Joe Morte a good seller?
Joe Cool was a good seller. Joe Cool was a great seller. I just found out I was his first match ever, and it was great. I mean, it's still on YouTube. He took a curb stomp face first. He took a lot of crazy moves. And again, for this being his first match, I was not aware this was his first match. They kind of threw him to the wolves. Actually, it was a fucking pretty brutal death match, and I was out there to prove a point. And he was just one of my victims, but he did really good considering it was his first match. That match was better than a lot.
By you saying his first match, they were in a federation. He was so-called the face of this federation. Was that his first match ever?
That was his first match ever. Yes.
So they didn't have no matches before that match. That was his first match ever.
No. That was his first match ever. The company was around, but that was his first match ever. That was his initiation, basically. And again, I've wrestled Joe Cool a couple of times, and I brought up the heart and soul of CWF because of his stature in the company and how he advanced, how he evolved his character. He made people pop.
What is the Joe Cool character? What is the Joe Cool character?
And Joe Cool, this question comes up a lot. Joe Cool is the mysterious G of CWF. He's that redneck guy who comes in, smokes a cigarette, he drinks a beer, he tries to be cool with the trailer park bitches. You know what I mean? That's Joe Cool. You know what I mean? He's someone who will have country music blasting in his four-wheel drive truck, drinking a Budweiser.
He's a suburban dude that's pretty cool.
Yeah, with the American flag hanging up. You know what I mean? You gotta keep the American flag up there.
Joe Cool's a face, right?
100%. 100%.
Here's the thing. Is it cool to have a cool guy from the country, laid back dude, smooth dude, guy you can relate to? Or is it cooler to have a personality figure that you can relate to? A guy who revolutionized XPW in 2009. A general manager figure. A guy who is great on the mic. A guy who can talk. A guy who can put the whole company on his back by his mouth. That is Joey Morte. What Joey Morte did was pretty sweet to us. Joey Morte was one of the best promo guys when we were going head-to-head with the Wars. Joey Morte was a guy who could talk like Enzo Amore, in my opinion. That's what I compare Joey Morte to. Joey Morte is going to be pretty special in that coming out XPW season. Whether he's going to be the voice of XPW, whether he's going to be the referee, whether he's going to be the general manager, whether he's going to be a worker and a wrestler, he can pull all of it off. I can utilize a guy like Joey Morte. Joey Morte, in my opinion, is a valuable guy. He might be a top guy in the company. That being said, this is all about who has better value, who will get more over. That's why I think, as a total pipe bomb, Joey Morte should advance in this round. Now, I'm going to hit you with the first question. Usually we start off with a good. Usually we start off with a bad. Today, I want to start off with a neutral. Okay? Joey Morte, Joe Cool. You're the owner of the company. I say just. We only can pick one guy. Who would you pick and why? And it don't have to be your guy you're vouching for. It could be my guy. Let me know why and tell me and elaborate on why this person would be more valuable than that guy.
And I'm glad this is Joey Morte against Joe Cool because I don't think I could pick between a couple other people. But I would have to say Joe Cool. And here's why. You're going to go why. Joe Morte was the reason 2009 started. Joey Morte was, like you said, the heart and soul of the 2009 season. Without Joe Morte, the 2009 season would have not started. But the thing about Joe Cool is you could market him better. Joe Cool, people can relate more to Joe Cool. Can you really relate to a Joey Morte? Joe Cool is, you know what I mean, that guy that Mysterious G fans would be like, oh, this guy's like us. You know what I mean? He listens to Guns N' Roses. He drinks on the weekends. He does. He drives his ATV around. You know what I mean? He's someone you could relate to. Well, not us, but you know what I mean? Mysterious G-like fans, XBW fans can relate to this guy.
And here is where I have to disagree with you on. Joey Morte is more relatable than Joe Cool. The reason being, Joey Morte is a people's person. He's the jokester. He's the chill, he's the laid back, he's the worker type guy behind the scenes. Joey Morte on the camera can do it all. Joey Morte can wrestle a death match. Joey Morte can wrestle a pair match. Joey Morte can wear a mask. Joey Morte could be the general manager. Joey Morte could be the referee. He can do it all, and reason being is because he has versatility. Joey Morte can do everything that you want from a professional. Joey Morte is the guy I would love to have. He's the Ben Rivers type guy in this company. Joey Morte is going to be the network, and that's just a spoiler. And I'll get into it later, or I might not get into it later. Joey Morte is going to be the network of XPW. What I mean by that is Joey Morte's character, 2009. You guys couldn't run a show as a total shoot. Joey Morte, on his own, called up, got the show canceled as a total shoot. That was a great work promo. Awesome work promo. We watched it. We tuned in. I thought that was cool. That got Joey Morte's character over. Joey Morte knows how to do things that can get his character over. As a total shoot, I was talking to Chris Sniper a few weeks back. He said, yo, I want to work with Joey Morte. I said, why? He said, because he reminds me of myself. That's what Sniper said. And I said, you know what? Come to think of it, he kind of does. Like, you guys got the same laid-back, joking around type personality, and that personality is what you want in the locker room. Can you say the same about Joe Cool?
I could definitely say the same thing about Joe Cool. Series G came out to me and said, you know, he can relate to Joe Cool. He's a hybrid wrestler. He does death matches, and they're kind of the same people. They're kind of that saying, you know, they're the same people but from a different mother. So I'm gonna have to say Joe Cool because I think you can market Joe Cool better than Joe Morte. That's my opinion.
What do you mean by market Joe Cool? T-shirts, gimmick, character? What do you mean?
Everything you just named. You could market Joe Cool better than Joey Morte. I think more people would be into Joe Cool than Joe Morte. Joe Cool has a whole Lehigh Valley. You know what I mean? Here's another scene. You could promote to his company. You could promote to his area as opposed to Joe Morte. He's, you know, Joe Morte.
Here's why I got to disagree with you, okay? And you're probably going to agree with me on this. We're talking about marketing. Marketing, you got to talk about networking. Joey Morte is a networker, okay? And I want you to answer this question serious. Joey Morte, right? Say we put him as the GM. Say we put him as the people's person. Say we put him as the network, okay? Joe Cool, a wrestler. A wrestler comes from this federation. That was the face of this federation. Versus the network guy, the face guy, the guy that you're trying to see, the guy that you might love, the guy that you might hate. Who is more valuable, Vicky Guerrero or, and I'm going to give this one, I'm going to do the comparison for Joe Cool, or Brian Kendrick? Who's more valuable, Brian Kendrick or Vicky Guerrero?
Good point. Good point. Definitely Brian Kendrick.
Because he's a better worker or because Vicky's a better talker?
Oh, no, you know what? I have to change my mind. I'm gonna have to go with Vicky Guerrero because she's more over. People rather see Vicky Guerrero on the mic.
People want to come out and just pay their money to hear her say, "Excuse me," so they can boo. When Joey Morte comes out as a network, trying to shut down the show, trying to get the show canceled because he's not involved in the show as a total gimmick, every weekend, week out, people are going to invest more into the Morte character. Joe Cool will just be a worker. Joe Cool will just be somebody that has cool matches, little cool gimmick, couple cool WT pop for him. However, Joey Morte is trying to get the show canceled, being a network, being a GM type guy, trying to break into the business. You'll be more invested into you'll be more invested in the Joe Morte. They're both Joes, and that just totally slipped my mind. That being said, Joe Cool versus Joey Morte. Who would win the match, you think?
I'm going to have to agree with your arguments, and you made some very valid points. As a wrestling promoter perspective, they would see the guy who could cut a promo because you can't make it far in wrestling without being able to cut promos. So
I never seen Joe Cool cut a promo. Can he cut a promo?
I don't think so. No, not that I've seen.
This being said, all right, because it's not all about wrestling ability. Because a lot of the backyard work that we all did has been the shits. Okay, everything's not been perfect. That being said, we're just talking about who's going to get more over. Joey Morte's character going to get more over, or is the Joe Cool character going to get more over in the next XPW season? Just taking a straight guess. Who do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with Joe Marte.
Reason being?
Because you're right, you know, he's gonna come out, cut them promos, and people are just gonna hate him, you know, or love him. But the whole network gimmick, he's gonna get over with that. You know, it's just Joe Morte. You know, he canceled the XPW show. It would just make sense for him to absorb a gimmick like that.
That being said, guys, we are going to go into the poll. We're going to put the poll up. Joey Morte versus Joe Cool. We have a dual series tonight on this episode. Chris Sniper taking on Vaulted Evil, the Greatness. Before we get into that, we're going to get into our final questions, our final feed, our final battle on who is going to win Joey Morte versus Joe Cool. Okay? Two new faces that the XPW familiars really don't know. That I hope in this next XPW season, they will get to know both of these characters, and both of these characters will work. I will make them work. Okay? Joey Morte, final plea on this. Great talker, great promo guy, versatile, can do anything you want him to do, can fit any bill on the show, can fit any slot on the bill. I could put Joey Morte in the main event versus the world champion because he owns the network. If he's not in the main event, he will cancel the show. So he will fight the world champion for the belt. If he don't win the belt, he says he will cancel the show. That gimmick, emotionally, you're invested in what will happen in that match. Joe Cool, great worker, face of his company, has a large following from his guys in his company, can actually do an invasion with his company versus the Legion, do an invasion versus Sky and his guys, do an invasion versus you and your guys, do an invasion against all deathmatch, all main eventers. Joe Cool's gimmick can get over as well. Here's the thing, all right? Who's more beneficial? Whose character will work better? The poll is up. Who do you want to see advance to the next round? Do you want to see Joe Cool? Do you want to see Joey Morte? Sick Max, where's your vote at right now?
Well, right now you convinced me to Joe Cool. I mean, Joe Morte is going to take the vote, my vote at least, because you're right. We could utilize him in a lot more storylines. People would get into his character, and people would just pop for him. You know what I mean? He would be a household name by the end of this season.
Joey Morte, he did the flamboyant gimmick as a total joke on his on his podcast. I mean, he's versatile. He can do it all. Joe Cool, I want to see you grab the brass ring. Joe Cool, I want to see what you have in store. Joe Cool, I want to see your wrestling ability. Joe Cool, I want to see your other side. I want to see what you have to bring to the table. You are, excuse me, you are the guy that I just want to, and how can I say this? It's kind of like what Gulak and DJ High wanted to do with Ace. I want to make you my package. I want to make you special, but I want to raise you up. I just don't want to throw you out to the wolves because you'll get Roman Reigns type heat. I want to make you special. I want to show you how to be special. I want you to be special. And the thing is, you might already be special. I don't know that yet. I think Joey Morte's special. Prove me wrong. My vote's going for Morte right now. Joe Cool, I like you as a friend. I like your ability. I like what you can do. Show me that you could be a top star. Because just maybe, Money in the Bank will roll around again after Money Bank's cashed in. Maybe you might be the next Mr. Money in the Bank. Right now, my vote's for Morte. Just take it away. Let's let the brackets go on. Sniper, Greatness. Who's the guy you controlling tonight?
I'm going to have to go with Greatness. You know what I mean? Greatness saved XPW in 2004, as everyone brings up the controversial trip with Kid Monster. Greatness stepped in and he took charge of XPW. He came in and he kicked ass, and we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Greatness. I'm gonna have to go with him. You know, he's controversial. He gets the crowd into his matches. It's a win-win for when you have Greatness on the show.
Well, here's the thing. Vaulted Evil Greatness, he's going to be a special figure going forward. That being said, I got to do a pipe bomb. This is pipe bomb. Got to do a total pipe bomb. All right, total pipe bomb right now. Mysterious G, I know you're watching, Mysterious G. Total pipe bomb, Mysterious G. And we're going to go on to the show, but later on, I want this question answered. Mysterious G said, do you like to just make things up as you go along? LOL. Who are you talking about? What do you mean? And what in the world do you mean by that saying? Because right now we are just talking about two guys, and we were talking about how we would make them utilize guys, and we're not making anything up, and we're just going off the top. What do you mean by that, Mysterious G? We'll get into it. Maybe you're just scared because King Carson might actually knock you out in the next round.
And that's what I think he means, because ever since King Carson threatened him, off the record, King Carson called him up and said, no matter where you are, I'm going to find you and I'm going to pedigree you. And that's down to Mysterious G's head.
Just, total pipe bomb, just, and I know you probably have this. Go over the rough draft, and I'm going to say this 3 times, just so everybody understands this, because it's going to get twisted by the time it gets back to the chat. It's going to get twisted by the time it gets back on Facebook, and it's definitely going to get twisted once Chris Sniper reads it. As a rough draft, just, you're in school right now. What does rough draft mean?
The rough draft means it's not the final product. It's a product where you drop down your ideas and you get a brief summary of what you're going to write. You know what I mean? It's a brainstorming thing. You know what I mean? You write it.
Absolutely, Justin. You elaborated that perfect. Please, Justin, I sent it to you last night. Go over to rough draft. As a total spoiler, we want ratings. Guys, XPW 2016, guys, rough draft format. I'm going to go over in depth on what I mean and what I want the direction of the company to go. Before we get into this next round, before we get into Sniper, before we get into Greatness, I want everybody that's watching to know where our head's at right now. I want their comments on it, and I want them to think, and I want them to take and think if they like it or they don't like it, and tell me what's wrong, what's right, and their opinion on it. Just go over the rough draft I sent you.
All right, so we're going to have the opener. We're going to have a backstage promo with Muerte trying to get in. Beast comes up, and you want me to go into the storyline, what he's going to say, or?
Absolutely. Let's go into it. That way people, because they're going to ask us anyway. Let's go into it.
So Beast is going to come up, and Muerte's going to keep talking. Beast beats him up with the knockout punch, and he goes in.
Guys, I'm going to stop Justin there. This is what we're doing with Beast. Beast ain't going to say a word. Beast is going to be one of them guys that just, whenever anybody's talking too much, Beast is going to appear. He's going to hit him with the knockout punch. People are going to pop for it, all right? Beast, the reason why we're doing that with Beast is because I don't think Beast can go 15, 20 minutes and you guys be entertained through the whole match. I can't go 15, 20 minutes and you guys be entertained through the whole match. So we're keeping it short, we're keeping it sweet, and we're getting to the point. So basically in that opening segment is Joey Muerte's the network. He's going to try to, it's a guy who used to cancel the shows. He wants to cancel XPW again. So he's trying to break into the business, all right? It's a reunion show. We're going over all the past information, and then we're building that into our main first show, and then we're going to vibe and go off and continue on through our season. Joey Muerte now is not on the list. We're going through the list, going through the names. Joey Muerte's on the list. He's pretty mad. He's trying to break into the building. When he finally gets to the door, okay? His name's on the list. He's pissed. He's saying, I'm getting in. Fuck you guys. No matter what's going on. I'm making a phone call. I'll get the show canceled. Beast is going to appear. After Joey Muerte, he's running the mouth. Beast is going to hit him. Bang! Knockout punch. He's going to be knocked out. We're going into our next segment. Just next segment.
The next segment's going to be the Fatal 4-Way match for the #1 contenders. Chris Conan against Sniper, against Sky, against Mysterious G.
All right. This match being said, the winner of this match receives a future world title shot. More than likely at the very following show, at the next show, if not the next show, but a future world title shot. You guys get where I'm going at. Myself, the real deal, Mr. Primetime Chris Conant versus Chris Sniper versus the Heart and Soul, Mysterious G versus AJ Hudson. All right. This is why the four guys were picked in this match. All right. AJ Hudson was the face of UCW, world champion, first ever world champion, big time name, face of that company. Chris Conant, the last world champion ever in UCW. This guy was a big name in XPW. You got to put him in the match. Mysterious G was XPW, the man. John Cena, Shawn Michaels. He was the man, XPW. He's automatically in the match. Chris Sniper, Heart and Soul of XPW. The Tommy Dreamer of XPW. The guy who was always right there. Can he finally grab the brass ring and possibly our final season of XPW? Can he finally do it? So you have them four guys competing for a shot for the World Championship match. What happens after that, Justin?
Well, after that, we have the Joe Cool promo with the
All right. Pretty much Joe Cool cuts his promo, lets everybody pretty much know who he is, introduces himself, okay? You might not be that invested being a former XPW original because you don't know who Joe Cool is, but we're introducing new names. At the end of this promo, explain what happens.
Well, at the end of the promo, we're going to have a little salt and pepper shaker behind Joe Cool. When Joe Cool leaves, is that the promo we're trying in?
Yep. Mm-hmm. After Joe Cool leaves, we're going to have the salt and pepper shaker on the floor. We're just going to show a visual of the salt and pepper shaker on the floor as a total tease, all right? To tease what might happen during this season, if it ever happens during this season, what may happen during this season as a total tease, as our entertainment part of the segment. Will be on the floor. That's what's going to happen. You guys will understand as we continue on. Just what's next.
We're going to have Bob and Ace against two mystery opponents. And now, just for the record, I don't even know who these mystery opponents are.
As a total shoot, Justin doesn't know who the mystery opponents are. That's what invests people into the match. If I just said Ace and Bob versus blah, blah, versus blah, blah, you're like, all right, cool. Could be a good match, great match. As a swerve, as something different, they are fighting two mystery opponents. As a shoot, the owner of the XPW doesn't even know who the two guys are. You're emotionally invested on who might be these two opponents now. What happens after that, Justin?
After that, we're going to have the ankle lock challenge. Greatness is going to call out DV1. Music.
And what happens? Is DV1 there?
No, of course not. No, we actually lost contact with DV1. So the music hits, no DV1. Who comes out? The one, the only, UCW's very own Uds, the Undead Soldier.
Uds, the Undead Soldier. This is another guy who got a pop like DV1, who was the DV1 of UCW. But does he come out for the ankle lock challenge?
He does come out for the ankle lock challenge, but Greatness says he's taking the night off. He's leaving. You know what I mean? He does a lot of talking. He's going to cut a sick promo saying, Greatness doesn't have to do this. I'm going back to Texas.
What happens at that point when Greatness says, I'm going back to Texas? Whose music hits? Who comes out? And what happens? And by the way, Greatness is going to have a manager. His manager is going to be Daniel. You guys know who Daniel is. Daniel is going to be the spokesperson for Greatness. When Greatness doesn't want to talk, Greatness says, I'm taking the night off. Daniel's going to do all the talking on why. Daniel's going to do all the talking on why Greatness doesn't have to wrestle tonight. What happens at that point when Daniel's doing his talk?
The Beast music hits. Beast comes out, get down or lay down. Boom! Out goes Daniel.
Exactly, guys. Exactly. And Beast knocks somebody else out during the show again. Daniel's knocked out. What happens next, Justin?
Let's see. Hold on. I lost my page over here. So after that, we're gonna have Greatness stunners him and takes off backstage.
So Greatness gets the upper advantage on Beast. He stunners Beast. Beast laid out. Greatness runs to the back with his Money in the Bank briefcase in hand, right?
That's right. That's right. He's gonna. He still has that Money in the Bank briefcase at this point.
What happens after that?
After that, we're gonna have a death match with me and King Carson. The death match that was supposed to take place in 2007 Hardcore Halloween.
At the end of this match, and I didn't get into depth with Justin on this. All right, Mysterious G will super kick King Carson. Okay, Sick Mexican will go over in this match so the fans know it. Mysterious G take a super kick on King Carson for the shit that King Carson's been saying. We go on to the next segment. What happens next segment?
The backstage promo with Sky, the Salt and Pepper left behind.
Sky has a promo in the back talking about his match that he previously was in. I'm not going to go over spoilers on everything. The match that he previously was in. Ace and Bob join him for that promo. At the end, when they're walking off, on the floor, you're going to find a salt and pepper shaker on the floor. Okay? We continue on. What happens at that point?
We're going to have Joe Cool against Craven, the dead man.
And this is going to be one of the quick matches, all right? Joe Cool cut his promo earlier, all right? When Joe Cool comes out, he's going to say, my debut match, whole 9 yards. That's within his promo. He doesn't know who he's fighting. Lights go off. Who's this guy? The gimmick comes out, and the debut of the Flamboyant comes out, and what we call a 5-minute or under match. I'm not going to get into the term for what we call this match. Craven, Joe Cool. You'll see the ending, guys. It gets controversial. What happens after that?
We're going to cut a backstage promo with Mike with the belt and Eddie with the belt. And this is a very interesting promo because it's both champions. Last champion of 2009 season and the last champion of 2007 season. So that's going to be a hot one.
So what happens is Eddie Drexler has the world title. Mike has the world title. They meet up. Both have the world title in hand. They're both previous world titles. Main event is set for them two tonight for an undisputed world champion. Right now we have two XPW world champions. The Unknown, Eddie Drexler, two world champions tonight. Undisputed champion will be crowned later on tonight. What happens next?
After that, we're going to have Joe Morte trying to sneak back in and gets knocked out by Beast again.
Joey Morte could get in through the front door. Joey Morte is now trying to get in through the back door. He's trying every way to get into the building. He wants to cancel the show. He doesn't want that. He just heard about the main event. Doesn't want it to happen. Joey Morte finally tries to get in through the back door. As he finally gets in through the back door, he gets knocked out by Beast. All right. What is next on the card?
We're going to have the main event, the champ versus champ. XPW World Champion Unknown taking on XPW World Champ.
We are not going to go on further than that. We're going to stop the show right there. What we are going to go on further about is Chris Sniper versus the Vaulted Evil Greatness. Okay, Chris Sniper's my guy. Blood brother, all right? They're the Legion. He is the man, the heart and soul of XPW. He's the guy who put in the work, put in the time. This is why I think Chris Sniper should advance. Why do you think that your guy, Greatness, should advance more than Chris Sniper?
Well, furthermore, like you said earlier, promo-wise, Sarge could cut a promo no matter what gimmick he's playing. People want to hear him, too. It's not like he's going to cut a crappy promo like Sick Mex would. He's cutting a promo that people will want to hear, and it will be phenomenal. Not like Sick Mex. But back to Greatness. You could put him in any role. You could put him in any gimmick. The guy goes over. We put him with the Dallas Cowboys gimmick, and it went over. And it was just a gimmick you probably came out your ass with. You know what I mean? And it went over with the hat. You remember the hat trick. He threw the hat in the crowd. The people were grabbing the hat and throwing it back. And that's something that wasn't planned. That's something that just happened because he went with it and it got over. As for Sniper, what could you do with Sniper?
What can't you do with Sniper? You can put Sniper anywhere in the card. I could put Sniper in the main event. The match will get over. Reason being, he was one of the heart members of the Legion. He was one of the ground and pound guys of the Legion. He's the guy who's there every week. He's the guy who you could put as the main event. He's the guy who you could put as the opener. He's the guy you could put in the mid card. He's more valuable than Greatness. Greatness is one-tracked, in my opinion. I can't ever see greatness as a face. I can see Chris Sniper as a face any day and time. I can see Sniper as a heel any day and time. I can see Sniper in a big time group any day and time. Can you say the same about greatness?
And yes, and here's why. Greatness is a war veteran. All you have to do is have him come back as Sarge because he legitimately is in the army, and people would pop for him. Who wouldn't pop for him?
Here's what I got to say about that. Greatness. You're talking about trying to get a pop, all right? Chris Sniper, just on his personality outside of the ring, gets cheered on by the fans. When Chris Sniper used to come out, I used to hear the girls in the crowd go, Sniper, 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 Sniper. Just when he came out, he might have been a heel. He might have been talking shit, saying, fuck you, fuck this, fuck that. But he got over. Sniper is a guy who gets over. Sniper is an everyday Joe that you can relate to. He's a guy who can cut a promo. He has the look. He has the physique. And now, years later, he's more smarter now. He can work in the ring a little bit better now. He's a guy who, if he knew what he knew then, would have been way better back when we were running. But now that he knows what he knows now, his philosophy, his psyche, is so much better now that this guy is a bona fide main eventer, in my opinion. Can you say the same about greatness? Can you see him with a world title?
Well, back on what you were saying, I agree with you 100%. Chris is Sniper's more developed, and he's in shape now. He's in the best shape he's ever been in his life. He learned a lot. He does his homework. He's studying his tapes. But you got to think about it this way. Greatness, who was in the Army, he is also in tip-top shape. I've seen him without his shirt in the pictures he posts on Facebook and social media. The guy deserves a title run, you know? The guy can definitely cut promos, and I think he could. I mean, you can't have him do an Iron Man match like he did a couple times, but you could definitely have him wrestle the best. You know, he'll put on decent matches.
Here's my take. You had to pick one person to be the world champion. Would you pick greatness or would you pick Sniper, and why?
Good question. I would definitely pick greatness in this one, you know, because he's been with the company for a long time. Maybe not longer than Chris, but he's been there for a while. He saved the company at one point. And
Here's what I got to say about that.
Hold on.
Here's what I got to say about it. Good. Here's what I got to say about that. Here's what I got to say about it. Good. You go.
No, excuse me. He's been in the Navy, according to Mysterious G. But he's over. You know, in high school, you remember how over he was in high school. People recognize him. People associate him with wrestling. People associate him with the name XPW. People associate him with the Stone Cold Stunner. He's great. You know, his name alone describes him. He's greatness. He's great.
Here's what I got to say about that. Greatness, okay? He is a heel that gets over with the fans. Sniper, I could put him anywhere on the card and get over with the fans. Who would be a better world champion is the question. Sniper will be a better world champion. This guy that was in the Legion, that's where he really grew off of. Was he ready for the belt when he was going to get handed the belt, literally, by Mysterious J? I do not think so. That didn't happen. One of the biggest controversial things in XPW history. He could vibe off that. When this guy finally gets the belt, it's a guy like The Miz, all right? The Miz, JBL hated this guy, used to trash this guy, throw his fucking bags in the trash can because he said this is a guy that would never get over in the business. Chris Sniper, if that actually happens for him, he will be the same way. He will be the same way like The Miz, the guy that you always said will never make it to the big leagues, the guy you never said will make it to the main event. He will be like The Miz, and The Miz carried the show. He main evented WrestleMania. He beat John Cena when The Rock and John Cena was there. That's why I got to vouch for Sniper. Will greatness be that explosive as a world champion as Sniper? I don't think so.
I think so.
Good.
Oh, continue. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Good. I want to hear why.
I mean, greatness has been around since day one. You could definitely put the belt on greatness, and people, he would put asses in seats. He has a lot of old school fans that would definitely pop when they see greatness's name come up. People will buy tickets you could definitely make him put on a great match. He's all around. He's done death matches before with Mysterious G, and they turn
And
out.
so is Sniper. Sniper utilized the company. We probably wouldn't be around today if it wasn't for Sniper. You and Sniper went up to SRWC and had the first match, an impromptu match. You guys didn't plan this match, didn't know this match was going on. Reason why we were able to do more shows. He utilized the business. He was over there. He's a guy that never went to a different federation ever. Greatness was in different federations before he got to XPW. That's what makes Sniper special. You said it out of your own mind. You couldn't pick yourself to be an XPW Hall of Famer. Mysterious G, bona fide Hall of Famer. You had to pick a second person. You said Sniper. You didn't say Greatness. And why is that?
You're right, because Sniper had put a lot more work into XPW than Greatness. Greatness was there. He saved the company, but he left the company for a while. He comes and goes like as he pleases. And Sniper, you're right. Sniper's been there and he stuck through
For
days.
the reliability purpose, Sniper got the vouch. But for the more over factor, what character is more over, Chris Sniper or Greatness, and why?
Again, I'm gonna have to go with Greatness because more people could tie Greatness to his success. As far as Sniper, can you really name a good Sniper match that you were like, wow, this is amazing?
Can you really name a good Greatness match that you were like, wow?
Well, when him and Mysterious G had that Iron Man match, I was.
Well, with you and Sniper, you guys had a great hardcore match.
We did. You're right. Good point.
With Sniper and Unknown, when Unknown Tombstone Gabby on the outside in the tag match at the anniversary show, that was a good match.
I agree. Hands down, that was a really good match. That was very entertaining, and the shock value was excellent.
Here's where I'm trying to get at. Guys, we got to do a vote. We got to do a poll. Just giving our opinions on both guys, vouching, fighting for both guys. The poll is going to be up. Final plead, final question. We gave goods, we gave bads, we gave neutrals. Okay? I'm going to give my final plead on both sides of the party, looking on both sides of the quarter. All right? Flip a coin. Heads or tails. Sniper or Greatness. This is what I got to say. Sniper, okay? You can make him any character you want. You can put him with the mask. You can put him without the mask. You can make him good. You can make him bad. He's versatile, just like Joey Morte is. I can't do that with Greatness. I love Greatness. He is my blood brother as well from WWW. But I can't just flip a coin and say, Greatness, I want you to be this guy today. Greatness, I want you to wear a mask. Greatness, I want you to do this. That is the thing that Chris Sniper has the more value package over Greatness. That being said, Jeff, where's your vote at right now? Where's your head at? And before we get into that, and I always cut myself off a lot, but there's something big that I want to say. Greatness has money in the bank. If Chris Sniper had money in the bank, would it be more valuable than Greatness having money in the bank?
I think if Chris Sniper had money in the bank, he would have already cashed in and been the world champion by now. That's my take. Greatness slept on it. I think he forgot about it, quite frankly. He left for the Navy for a while, and he just missed his opportunity. As for Chris Sniper, if Chris Sniper would have had it, he would have definitely been one of the champions by now.
Absolutely. And that being said, Greatness might not ever be a world champion. And Greatness might not ever have the opportunity. He might just wind up like Damian Sandow and just be in a pushover main event that we make as a big-time pay-per-view, as Greatness cashing in his money in the bank at the next pay-per-view and fighting the world champion and just losing, and then money in the bank starting all over again. As in Chris Sniper, he's sneaky. He would have cashed in at a great time, and he would have won the world title just sneakiness off his character and utilizing it in a great way.
Now,
That being said,
I have a question for you, Chris. Now, you're bringing up how if Sniper had the briefcase, he would have cashed it in. But the last time he was in there was with his mentor, Unknown. Do you think he would have cashed it in on Unknown, and why?
absolutely. It would have been a shock value. It would have been a swerve. It'd have been something big. It'd have been something we still would have been talking about today. If he would have cashed in on the unknown, it would have been unknown, as he likes to elaborate and he likes to take a lot of things personal. These guys are true life best friends. Okay. Unknown would have never expected his true life best friend to utilize an opportunity to take the world champion from his best friend, even being heels. He would have did that. He would have utilized his character, made his character over. As I said in my podcast, the first ever podcast ever aired, ever, for us. Sniper missed his opportunity by not going to UCW when he was one of the groundbreaking members of the first ever UCW meeting. He would have been the first ever world champion. We may not have ever even talked about AJ Hudson ever being a world champion if Sniper would have been there. Who knows? This is just a total guess. But Sniper missed his opportunity just like Greatness missed his. That being said, opportunity is there. Brass ring is hanging. Who will grab it? Will it be Sniper or will it be Greatness? In your opinion, and who are you voting for?
And I just want to let the chat room know that the poll is up live and it's going on now. So go over there and place your votes for both these tournament rounds. Overall, who do you think would win? I mean, who's your vote going to go for?
Well, here's the thing. Greatness, Sniper. Right now, my vote will be decided when I vote for it in the poll. I don't want to let any gooses out. I don't want to let any eggs out the basket right now. What I have to say is, right now, if I had to pick one guy, it would be Chris Sniper. Your opinion, who would it be?
I would have to go with Chris Sniper as well. My buddy, my best friend, my tag team partner, King Carson, Sniper.
And why Sniper? I just want to know why. Because Greatness, you gave a good vouch for him. You gave a good pull for him. He's Mr. Money in the Bank. He's Mr. Heel. He could be the face of the company coming up. Can Sniper be the face of the company?
And yes, and here's why. Sniper worked his way up. You know what I mean? He put a lot of work in the company. Greatness had some great moments, but Sniper put in the work, unlike Greatness. You know, Sniper been there from day one. Every time he got let back in, he always tried harder. He always went harder. Him and King Carson's feuds were memorable. And, you know, I see good things in Sniper's way. I see good things coming.
Here's the thing where I have to disagree with you. Greatness put in the work as well. Greatness did things different. Greatness didn't do things by the book. He didn't do things by the company. He's not a company guy. He's not a push company guy. Greatness is a guy who grabs the brass ring. Greatness is a guy who just does what Greatness wants to do, and he's one-tracked it. That being said, it makes Greatness different. Different is good. If you are different, you get over. If you're the same, you blend in. And you fall in the shuffle. You get mixed in the shuffle. It's like a fucking pack of cards that you're trying to shuffle up. You just get mixed in the middle of it. Greatness is on the outside of that. Greatness is the card you pick first. He's the card that's on the bottom. He's the wild card. He's the guy who, in WWW, we made special. He's the guy in XPW that got over, that got known. He's the guy every season when Greatness cut a promo, you watched, you were entertained. Greatness is a guy who, Sniper, you have a hard shot of beating tonight because Greatness may be the face with that Money in the Bank briefcase like Dean Ambrose. It changes the face of the company. Sniper, that being said, Blood Brother, Legion, you are the man that's right there. Just grab it. Grab it and pull it in. Once you do that, you become the man. You'll become the face. You'll become awesome. Like The Miz. And that's what you remind me of. EC3, The Miz mixed in one. Greatness, you're right there too as well. And I want both of you guys to just take this into consideration. And as the moral of the story, as I always do in every Pipe Bomb episode.
Before you go,
before
you go into the moral of the story, I wanted to say from a booker's point of view, from an owner's point of view, Greatness did start some fights with a Mysterious G in the back, and they were real fights. And is there anything you would like to say about like real fights in wrestling or real fights in general?
Well,
It's all entertainment. All we're doing, this podcast right here, the wrestling we do is all entertainment. You know what I mean? It's all meant to be so people watch and get entertained. So, but sometimes it goes a little too far. And you're
here's my take on that, and I'm glad you brought that up because that makes me take a step back. Sometimes you have to take one step forward, but sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward. Okay, if everybody's following that math. I'm not good at math, but that made sense. All right. Here's the thing where I want to get at on this podcast and Pipe Bomb. We always get into a moral of the story at the end of the show. All right. And I always want to make it make sense for everybody out there. We did this podcast. We did this reunion show. We did this group chat. We did this company. We brought this company back to bring everybody back together. There's been issues on this side of the boat, and there's been issues on that side of the boat. We're doing this to recreate friendships that once were. We were a bond. We were friends. We talked to each other more than we talked to our family. And then a lot of people grew up. A lot of people moved on to this, or moved on to a different job, or moved on to that. We were all one. We're all a family. We're all close. We're all friends. All right. And he being over here and he being over here, we have disagreement. That's where he comes from. He comes from not having the same opinion as this guy or not having the same opinion as that guy. But that's just us being raised different, brought up different, or just come from a different breed. This reunion show is coming from, where's this podcast coming from? It's for us getting back together and having the bond and being one. We're all doing this because we love it. We like it. It's fun. It's cool. We can talk about it, watch the video, drink a beer together. And we all could become friends once again. And that's the main part about it. We were all really close. We're all really tight. And we all took different directions, different paths on life. And we all took different paths on where everybody expanded to in the end. But here's what I'm saying today. And I want to get this off my chest. We were all really close. We used to drink beer together, chill, have fun, watch the videos. I want that again. That's the reason why we have this reunion show. That's the reason why we're going to have XPW season again. So we can have fun. We can talk about the goods. We can talk about the bads. But the moral of the story is we're all friends. We're all close. We're all tight. And we're all just getting older. Okay? And by getting older, we're just getting a day closer to our death date. Okay? We're not always going to be here forever. Somebody's going to be here for a year from now. Somebody's going to be here for 5 years from now. Somebody's going to be here for 20 years from now. Somebody's going to be here for 30 years from now. We don't know the date on that. But what we know the date on is us being friends. And if we all could be friends, become closer, become one, become a bond, that is what I want to get out of that. And that will make this the most important and most special thing about it all. And I love to give these morals of the story because there's always a moral to every story. That being said, I want everybody just to relate, chill, relax. And when we have this first XPW reunion show, whether you disagree, don't disagree, I want you to go out there, kick some fucking ass, have a great fucking time, become friends again, drink some beer, and I'll have a special surprise for everybody at the end of the first show. I'm going to give a spoiler on it. It's going to be cake. We're all eat cake.
I love it. I love it. Like you said, we're all going to have fun, no egos. You know, I mean, that was one big problem, and I'm guilty of it as well. You know, we all had egos. And
here's the thing, Jess. Here's the thing. Listen. Who's going to eat the first piece of cake? Who's going to take the first slice? Is it going to be the newcomer, or is it going to be the face? Is it going to be the heart and soul?
It's going to be Sky.
No matter that.
I heard Sky loves cake.
Well, naturally, he loves cake. So he probably will cut the slice. And we'll make sure to give Sky the first piece. But I'm getting it from his girls, guys. If you guys want any special toppings, any special flavors, I'll get half chocolate, half vanilla, however you guys want it. But we're going to eat cake at the end of the first XPW show. Courtesy, paid for by Chris Conant. That's what we're going to do. And I want everybody to kick ass out there. I want us to have a great time. And I want this to be the most enjoyable XPW season we ever had. There'll be storylines, there'll be twists, there will be swerves, and there's going to be controversial get brought up, and that's what makes the show great. Plus, it's going to be an entertaining part of it. Just that being said, um, we went over the polls today. We went over two groundbreaking people that will be making it to the next round. But most importantly, what we went over today was a rough draft of the XPW card. What's your take on it? What are you most intrigued on seeing? And what are you most looking forward to in the next XPW coming season?
Personally, a lot of people are going to shoot on me. I'm all in for the promos. I mean, the promos you put together in 2007 were definitely the best promos we ever cut, and the most memorable ones as well. You know what I mean? You have the DV. I mean, every time people come on the podcast, people always bring up the 2007 promos, whether it be the DV1 with the newspaper or the salt and pepper gimmick. You know, these gimmicks are amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely got to agree. And I definitely think it's going to be a great season. People, I want you to comment. I want you to vote on the polls as well. But most importantly, I want to hear your take, your ideas on what we should switch, what we should add, and what you think will work for the next coming XPW season. Do you guys agree with the rough draft? Do you guys disagree with the rough draft? If you do, or if you don't, this might help you out. DDPyoga.com/wrestling Inc. Brought to you by the likes of Mysterious G wearing the DDP Yoga t-shirt. Mysterious G. I don't know if you do it. I don't know if you don't do it. But people that do it and want a discount, go to ddpyoga.com/wrestling Inc. Get your 3 free month subscription on the Max Pack. Max Pack, 3 DVDs. Not 1, not 2, but 3 DVDs you get. You can download the app. It brought Scott Hall back. It brought Jake the Snake back. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts on Vudu, on Amazon, on Google+. The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. My buddy, Sick Mexican, the hardcore icon. He was there live at the Ritz watching this. Just tell the fans your in-depth thoughts on what you honestly thought about watching that live.
I mean, it was definitely a touchy movie. I mean, watching with Jake the Snake and DDP was phenomenal. Definitely a memorable moment. They went up there and they answered questions, but more importantly, the movie it tells a story. You know what I mean? You watch Jake the Snake go from hitting rock bottom to building his career back up. It really gets you thinking what these guys do for us, the pain they put on their bodies, and then they it shows you where they hit sometimes. But definitely check it out if you've ever been a Jake the Snake Roberts fan. Check it out. It's definitely going to change your perspective on the wrestling industry.
And guys, one more thing, guys. I want to get off my chest on this. In the chat room, in the polls, in the comment segment on here, what do you most want to see in the next XPW coming season? Do you want to see Mysterious G as the world champion? Do you want to see Vaulted Evil cash in his Money in the Bank? Do you want to see Salt and Pepper back together? Do you want to see AJ Hudson and Chris Conant finish their rivalry from UCW? Do you want to see the Legion back? Do you want to see Sky start his own group up? Do you want to see Sick Mexican finally, after their 10-year depletion, become the world heavyweight champion? Do you want to see a Hall of Famer take his Hall of Fame in the ring? Guys, vote, comment, let me know what you want to see. Whether you didn't like this video, I'm your favorite wrestler. He's the Sick Mexican. He's the hardcore icon. This is Midnight Madness. This is Pipe Bomb. We're going to end the show. Just before I get off here, and I usually end the show here, do you have a pipe bomb for me? Because tick-tock, tick-tock, I have one for you. You have one for me.
Let's hear yours first.
Well, thought you would never ask. Pipe Bomb, episode 4. Guys, if you want this to continue on, let us know. If you don't, let us know as well. We've talked about everything we could touch on to keep you up to date. And things I want to keep you up to date on is a total pipe bomb with Sick Mexican. Sick Mexican, are you ready for the pipe bomb?
Let's hear it. I'm always ready.
Oh man, I like being put on the spot for situations like this. Sick Mexican is a total pipe bomb. All right. Where do I start at here? Joey Morte, Joe Cool. Okay. What guy, if you had to pick one guy, would you fire?
Whew.
And why?
Good question. I'm gonna have to.
Why would you not need this guy no more? And let me hit you with a bigger pipe bomb. All right. I'm gonna change the question. A total pipe bomb. Rough draft. All right. The rough draft that me and you went over tonight live. Okay. If you had to pick one person, just one person, different question. This is my real question. One person on the rough draft card that I gave today to be the world champion, who would you pick and why? Pipe bomb.
Pipe bomb. I'm gonna have to go with Beast, and here's why. He's a guy coming back with a new gimmick, with a new attitude. And this guy, you've seen him deliver knockout punches before, but this is going to be a whole new beast. This is going to be a whole new knockout punch. The level of the game has just went up. This is Beast's year. This is the Beast, the dead man's year. I see it.
And here's my guy I got to pick. Mysterious J. And reason being is because I don't ever get tired of seeing him with the belt. It's a guy I love seeing his matches. I love seeing his promos. It's a guy that whenever I'm in the rough, being a booker, I can be like, well, what are we going to do next? Mysterious G. Let's put the belt on him. Let's make him rock out for a couple months. Because I can't go wrong there. You know what I mean? Like, who's not going to see his matches? Who's not going to see his character? Who's not going to see him involved in something? And here's a total pipe bomb. Chris Sniper said I've ruined Mysterious G's character as a booker. That's why he don't like. That's one of the reasons why he don't like me as a booker. He said I put Mysterious G in a baby mom type program that made him. That was why would you put a bona fide guy in a lower class storyline? I don't think that was a lower class storyline at all. All right, and I didn't deplete the heart and soul of XPW by putting him in that character, by putting him in that situation. What I did was move him out of the world title situation and put him in a different segment. That's what I did on that. There's no heat there. There's no animosity there. And what I was trying to do is keep everybody emotionally involved. Like the moral of the story today, I want to keep everybody's friends. I want to keep everybody as happy as they possibly can be. Being said, what I did there as a total play bomb was just move a character over, not necessarily move them up, but move them over to a different segment to keep everybody emotionally involved. Did you agree with that, Just? Or did you think that I was actually putting the back burner on him and actually put him lower on the card?
No, I agree with that. I mean, if anything, you put more attention on Mysterious G. You put the spotlight on him. You know, and again, you bring it up all the time. People bring it up all the time. People are still talking about it. So that it obviously worked. Whatever you put him in, it obviously worked because people till this day are talking about the storyline. Which brings me to a quick question. It's not a pipe bomb, but there's a lot of talk between Mysterious G and King Carson having legitimate heat, and King Carson saying he's going to go to the hospital and pedigree Mysterious G. Does this tie in with that storyline?
Here's what ties in. Okay. What I have in store for XPW season, we're going to have real life animosity, real life storyline, because people can relate to it emotionally. So what I'm going to tie in to the next XPW coming season, I'm going to have real life heat tie into real storylines. Reason why is because you're going to get emotionally invested into the storyline. People are going to be more intrigued on what's going to happen here. I want to make every character, every storyline more over than the world title storyline. If the reason being, it's the world title is the thing that everybody wants to get to. You want to get to two things. You want to get to the world title, and you want to main event the biggest show of the year. Okay? If I can make every storyline mean more than the world title, then I did a good job as a booker because you're emotionally invested in that storyline than the world title. Example, Shane McMahon, Undertaker, WrestleMania 32. You're emotionally invested in, is Shane going to run the company? Undertaker going to lose another match at WrestleMania. You're emotionally invested. I want to do that with everybody on the card, and I want to do that with every storyline to keep everybody emotionally invested. You agree with that?
I agree with that 100%. And that match you brought up, the WrestleMania 32 match, that match was actually more entertaining. I think more people cared about that match than the actual main event, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because they're emotionally invested in the match. So when people say that a father-son storyline and then you have the world title match, people are more invested in the father-son storyline because they want to find out who's the father. They're going to see at the end of the match who's going to win the world title. Is either going to be A or B. But father-son storyline, it could be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You don't know. So now you're emotionally invested in that situation more than you're invested in who's going to win the world title, A or B. You get what I'm saying?
I agree 100%. And before we close this off, I have one question to ask you. And again, you broke the internet with this question. It made headlines everywhere. You broke the news to XPW and the world that you signed John Hobbs. And the question everyone's asking is, how are you going to utilize him? Because for one season he was an active wrestler, he was active talent, and in another season he was the referee. And if you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but people are asking me, people are coming up to me at supermarkets saying, "How is this guy going to be utilized?" And I'm like, I'm going to ask.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to put him on
Here's
the
the
spot
thing.
and ask him live on the podcast. But continue.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. John Hobbs. When I talked to John Hobbs live, I went to John Hobbs yesterday. I talked to John Hobbs live. He signed an XVW contract, and the reason why his contract is for 2 years is because I'm going to utilize John Hobbs in several different situations. That being said, XVW 2016 is going to be a very special year. And it's very special the reason why I signed John Hobbs to a 2-year contract. You're not going to see every face that's signed under contract on day one. You're not going to see them on day two. You might see them on the next pay-per-view. You may see them on the next pay-per-view after that. Or you might see them on our Raw type show following our pay-per-view. What I'm going to do is introduce swerves. I'm going to introduce different characters. And I'm going to introduce people different from the way that you've previously seen them. And that will catch you off guard. That will keep you emotionally invested in that guy. That will keep our company building and growing as a whole. That being said, I'm not giving out the spoiler on what I'm exactly doing for John Hobbs, but this is what I got to say about him. John Hobbs will be a great special part of what we're going to do in the first comings of the first episodes of XCW. That is what I got to say about that.
I love it. I love it. And thanks again for everything. Anything you have to
Not
say
only
before?
thank that, but thank you. You are the hardcore icon. You're the hardcore legend. You are the sick Mexican. I'm your favorite wrestler, These guys up here that you see will be unleashed very soon. New outfits coming. And more importantly, the Legion. Too sweet. Will they be back together? And more importantly, that I had dinner tonight. And I like a little pepper. More importantly, I like a little salt. I won't say anything more on that, but I like mysterious things. I like unknown things. If people get my way, I like hitting them with a sniper from across the way and looking up into the sky. But more brilliant than Banks, more important than having aces in my pocket and having Banks just dripping out the way. And more importantly than me hobbling across the way and going through different chambers. But that being said, I might be sick in the wintertime. I'm definitely not Mexican. However, I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. I'm Chris Conant. XPW 2016 is going to be special. I'm signing out here. Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. I'm Chris Conant. Sick Mexican. Anything else for us? If not, peace out. Sayonara, suckers.
I want to thank everyone for watching. Stay tuned. And please vote. Have a great one.